An X-ray of the Greek Antikythera mechanism reveals a dense web of gears hidden inside its corroded shell. At first glance, the Antikythera mechanism appeared deceptively simple. Because of its astrolabe-like form, early observers believed it to be a navigational instrument used aboard ancient ships. But as scholars began to study it more closely, that assumption collapsed. What they were looking at was something far more advanced, so advanced that it would eventually be described as the oldest known analog computer, dating to around 100 to 150 BC. The story begins in April 1900, when a group of Greek sponge divers descended into the Aegean Sea near the island of Antikythera, off the coast of Crete. One diver, Elias Stadiatos, came upon an ancient shipwreck lying roughly 25 meters from shore at a depth of about 50 meters. The vessel was a cargo ship that had sunk around 87 BC, carrying with it objects frozen in time. Among the recovered items were bronze and marble statues, clay vases, and fragments of ancient furniture. The first artifact brought to the surface was the right arm of a bronze statue, dating to the 3rd century BC, believed to depict a philosopher. But the most extraordinary discovery came later. A wooden box, about the size of a shoebox, crushed by the sea and filled with corroded metal components. Inside were gears, interlocked, fused, and distorted by centuries of saltwater exposure. The wooden casing itself did not survive. At the time, there were no preservation techniques capable of saving it, and it deteriorated shortly after recovery. What remained was a mass of rusted bronze gears, broken and partially missing, resembling nothing more than scrap metal at first glance. Yet researchers soon realized they were holding something unprecedented. The mechanism had already been disassembled when it was first examined. Many parts were missing, others were heavily corroded and covered in sediment. From that moment onward, scholars began an investigation that would span more than a century, attempting to understand the purpose of this astonishing device and reconstruct how it once worked. Although its exact date of manufacture remains unknown, most scholars agree the Antikythera mechanism was produced between 150 and 100 BC. Some theories suggest it was made in Rhodes or Asia Minor, but no definitive proof exists. Many researchers associate the device with Hipparchus, the renowned astronomer who proposed early heliocentric ideas and died in Rhodes. This connection is partly based on the writings of Cicero, who described a planetary device constructed by Posidonius, Hipparchus's successor in Rhodes. In Tustavan Disputations, Cicero wrote, "For when Archimedes fastened the movements of the moon, the sun, and 5 wandering stars on a globe, he reproduced the same movements with divine genius." Such passages suggest that complex mechanical models of the cosmos already existed in the ancient world. Further study revealed that the inscriptions on the Antikythera mechanism were written by 2 different hands, indicating that it was likely the product of a workshop rather than a single craftsman. The first major interpretation came in 1902, when archaeologist Valerio Stace proposed that the object was an astronomical clock. Nearly 60 years later, in 1959, science historian Derek J. DeSola Price published a groundbreaking analysis that transformed scholarly understanding of the mechanism. His work included detailed diagrams and a radical conclusion. The device was capable of predicting astronomical events. Price discovered that the main gear advanced the calendar year, while interconnected gears represented the movements of the sun, moon, and planets. By setting a specific date, the mechanism could calculate celestial positions for that moment in time. To Price, this qualified as a computer, primitive by modern standards, yet astonishingly sophisticated. The device displayed the 12 zodiac signs, tracked 365 days, and incorporated a lunar calendar. Its calculations were performed not with digital code, but through the precise mathematical ratios of its gears. Turning the main crank initiated a cascade of motion that revealed the positions of heavenly bodies in the sky. Price's analysis, however, was limited by the technology of his era. Beginning in the 1990s and early 2000s, modern X-ray imaging and 3D modeling transformed the study of the mechanism. Australian computer scientist Alan George Bromley, working with a watchmaker in Sydney, attempted to reconstruct the assembly. Although their model was incomplete, it laid crucial groundwork. Later, British astronomer John Gleave succeeded in building a functional version that displayed the movements of the sun and moon on the front, with ancient Greek year and month cycles shown on the back. Further breakthroughs came when Michael Wright, curator at London's Science Museum, collaborated with Bromley using advanced imaging techniques known as linear tomography. Their work revealed unprecedented detail in the gear system. Wright constructed a replica consisting of 72 components capable of showing the movements of the Moon, Sun, Mercury, Venus, Mars, Jupiter, and Saturn, the full set of celestial bodies known to ancient Greek astronomers. According to Wright, the Antikythera mechanism functioned as an astronomical clock, helping determine agricultural schedules and religious festivals. He also proposed that the device tracked distant planets such as Mars, Jupiter, and Saturn with remarkable accuracy. By the early 2000s, advanced scanning technologies confirmed Wright's findings and revealed something even more astonishing: a user manual engraved directly onto the device. Approximately 3,500 characters have been deciphered so far, out of an estimated 20,000, detailing the functions of each dial. Tiny Greek letters, some less than 1 millimeter tall, proved that moving planetary indicators once existed on the front of the mechanism, arranged within a zodiac display. The device contained multiple dials, all driven by a single crank. Small stone or glass spheres represented Mercury, Venus, Mars, Jupiter, and Saturn, moving across the face of the machine. A rotating black and white sphere showed the phases of the Moon, while other dials predicted solar and lunar positions across time. By entering a date, past or future, the mechanism calculated complex astronomical data automatically. What emerged from the corroded wreckage was not merely a relic, but proof that ancient Greek science had reached a level of mechanical sophistication that would not be matched again for over 1,000 years. The Antikythera mechanism was not ahead of its time. It belonged to a chapter of history we almost lost.